Hello everyone and welcome to a Shanghai Flyer flight review. Today I am flying home to Shanghai via Chicago and Hong Kong on board Cathay Pacific's new business class service. I arrived plenty early for my 2 p.m. departure after landing from Newark. I breezed through security using the priority lane accessible for business and first class passengers and found my way to the British Airways Galleries Lounge at Chicago O'Hare Airport. Cathay Pacific uses this lounge for their once daily service to Chicago. There were a few sandwiches and mostly cold stacks at around noon hours. There were limited choices of beverages with only a few juices and 3 kinds of wine, with the rest being a self-serve bar. I had on my plate a salmon and turkey sandwich with some cheese selections. The lounge is tiny with no windows, so I wouldn't recommend to save any time for the visit. After a 3-minute walk, I arrived at the gate Mike 15 for boarding. Once stood in queue, I discovered quite a few American Airlines top elites standing around me, including a concierge key and executive platinum. Once boarded, I turned left toward my favorite seat, 11 Alpha, first row in the mini cabin of business class. Now let's take a look once again at this classic reverse herringbone introduced in 2011. 8 years old already, but still going strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a safety requirement that all hand-carried items are securely stowed.
My name is Sue Zwada. Very pleased to introduce my crew. Joining me in the flight deck today, the Senior First Officer Matt Mann, Senior First Officer Stuart McLean, and Second Officer Mike Malone. In charge of the cabin today is your In-Flight Services Manager, ma'am. Welcome aboard this Cathay Pacific service direct to Hong Kong. Once airborne this afternoon, our expected flying time is 15 hours and 13 minutes at an initial planned cruising altitude of 29,000 feet. Weather conditions today, we are expecting just a few little bumps as we proceed north over Canada. There's a jet stream that we transit through. We are taking a polar route to Hong Kong today. We expect mostly smooth flying conditions, especially at this time of year. However, there is a westerly jet stream that runs west to east just to the north of Beijing, so we are expecting some turbulence at that point as well. At times during the flight when the fasten seatbelt sign is switched off, I highly recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened in the event we encounter any unexpected turbulence. This is for your safety. In just a few moments' time, your In-Flight Services Manager, Matt, will be showing you this aircraft safety briefing. As this briefing contains very important information, I'd ask you all to pay very particular attention. We're all ready to go on the flight deck. We're just waiting for the last door to close and our air traffic control clearance, and we shall be on our way as soon as possible. For those of you who are frequent flyers out of Chicago, you'll know that the ground taxi times can be quite extensive. Once the aircraft starts rolling forward for the first time under its own power, I will set my clock and I will give you an update every 20 minutes as to where we're looking in the takeoff lineup. Flight duties permitting, I'll speak to you once again prior to our descent into Hong Kong with updated arrival and weather information. That said, at this time, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the Cathay service.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Our clock is 15 hours and 13 minutes. We are looking forward to making your journey a pleasant and comfortable one. May I please have your attention for the safety demonstration? Thank you.
如果你要隨身攜帶手提行李或家庭物件，喺航機起飛同降落前，請確保放喺行李櫃裏面。Personal electronic devices using Wi-Fi Bluetooth should be switched off now, or you can set them to airport. From the moment you begin your journey, we're here to make the experience effortlessly smooth and enjoyable. Because your safety is important to us, please take a few minutes to watch our video.
minutes after takeoff, here comes the final course of this lunch, despite it's already completely dark outside. This is actually my second dessert, the tiramisu cake. The first one I had is the fruit platter, which I shown earlier. And despite having these two desserts, I would say that I am still quite hungry, to be honest, since I didn't eat lunch or a proper breakfast prior to taking this flight. And the main course was only 3 pieces of pork. Despite it tasted really delicious, but I still think that it is really not an adequate amount for a 15 hours long haul flight. I am in my Cathay Pacific's first class pajamas after changing into this here with this desk, which is used for babies when changing diapers, which is a really nice addition which wasn't available on my Hainan Airlines flight last month. As you can see here, the amenity kit. There is still only 2 Jolique amenities. The third one, as a matter of fact, was gone in a cost cut roughly a year and a half ago. We are now 7 hours and 20 minutes away from landing into Hong Kong. I just woke up an hour ago from my nap, and as usual I went to order some snacks due to the tiny portion of the meal for lunch. However, I was told that they ran out of the fish noodle soup at the midpoint of the flight, at which we were still 8 hours, there's still 8 hours remaining in the flight, which is of course disappointing. And I think one of the causes of that is because that the fishbowl noodle soup is now incorporated as an entree to the previous lunch service, which is probably why it ran out so quickly on a 15 hours flight. And that's why I ended up with these 2 pieces of crab cakes. The breakfast service was served on one plate. On the top left corner is an economy-like fruit bowl, downgraded from a fruit platter in the old service. For the main course, I chose Chinese congee with frozen abalone, which was accompanied by 2 pieces of dim sum.
Is currently 24 degrees Celsius. For those of you unfamiliar with the centigrade system, that's approximately 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit. There is a moderate wind over the hills this evening from the south and east, so we're expecting a few little bumps on the final approach into Hong Kong. Clear visibility and just a few scattered clouds. Once again, a temperature of 24 degrees Celsius, quite warm, or 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Pending any air traffic control delays, our current indications are showing a touchdown time 43 local time. That's 1943 or 7:43 in the evening. There is a 14-hour time zone change between Chicago and Hong Kong. Hong Kong is 14 hours ahead, making the day Thursday, December the 20th, and the current time now is 7:11 in the evening. Once again, on behalf of Cathay Pacific and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you for joining us. Hope you had a pleasant journey, and we do indeed look forward to seeing you once again in the future.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hong Kong. It is a safety requirement that you remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign has been turned off. Please be careful in opening the overhead compartment as items inside may fall out. Kindly take all your belongings with you when leaving the aircraft. Personal electronic devices with cellular functions may now be switched on. For passengers with connecting flights on Cathay Pacific and Cathay Dragon, please reserve time for security checks and arrive at the boarding gate at least 30 minutes before departure to avoid disruption to your travel plan. The connecting flight information is available from your personal TV or our ground staff on arrival. It has been a pleasure looking after you, and we hope to see you again soon. Thank you for flying Cathay Pacific, a member of the One World Alliance.